Welcome to Power Fridays Live, the channel that aims to make a difference in the world through transformation, spiritual growth, and for entrepreneurs. Our vision is to empower individuals to live their lives with purpose and to make a positive impact on the world. We believe that power and purpose are the driving forces behind success and fulfillment in both personal and professional life. Through our broadcast, we discuss business strategies and techniques that can help entrepreneurs achieve their goals and take their business to the next level. We believe that through sharing knowledge and experience, we can empower each other to succeed and make a difference in the world. Now here's our host, Janelle Pulley.
Hi.
Intro. I love that intro. I feel so inspired just with the intro.
Thank you. And I love you being here today, Sean Hutt. And I'm saying welcome to Power Fridays Live. Welcome back to those who are watching Financial Power Fridays Live this evening. Tonight, we're going to explore, transformation, spiritual growth, and leadership development in business today. We have an incredible guest who is making waves in the world of media and storytelling. Let's give a warm welcome to our guest, Sean Hutt, the executive producer of Stepdad. We're thrilled to have you here. Let's dive right in. Sean Hutt, how are you this evening?
I am great. Just honored to be here. I was looking at I didn't know if you could see me or not. I'm looking at the intro. I was all smiling and cheese. I'm like, oh, see, it's moving and got moving. And the voice, the background, that's the movie voice. I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm honored. I feel so honored to be here.
Well, if you need him for some voiceover work, let me know. I got you. We got you. We got to work together as entrepreneurs. So, Sean, just give everyone a little bit of background about yourself. Who you are, where you grew up.
Okay, I'm actually originally from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My family migrated here because my dad was actually John Henry, the one that was building the tracks. But he moved here to get a job on the railroad. He's an engineer. So every 3-day weekend, every holiday, I was back in Louisiana. So I, might as well say I'm a bye baby. Bye Louisiana, bye Dallas, Texas. So yeah, I grew up in Greenville, and I was just a movie kid. I was the only child for a while, so all I did is watch movies. And I used to sing. I miss entertainment. So I started, maybe I could film a movie. So yeah, I got all my friends together, and that's how it started. The first movie that I put out, it was horrible. It was no actors. It was just all my friends and camera people and stuff that had no idea what they did. But we made money off of it. We made it work. And then that was the bug.
Yes.
So yeah, I've been doing it for like 19 years now. So I think 19 years, I've done 19 movies.
Oh, wonderful. A movie a year.
Yeah.
So I am so excited to, share with everyone, and so that we can get a little glimpse in your movie. So is it okay for me to play a clip off the rip and then we can talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Let me hit play here. I'm my own engineer, so here we go.
I propose a toast to Philip. All I know is that she's single, she's successful, she's fine as hell, and most important, she don't have any kids.
Philip, listen, there's a lot about me that you don't know. He asked you to marry him?
He did, but he asked me if I had children when we first met.
Can't believe she lied to you about the kids.
And I told him no.
Great.
Hey, go away.
Philip.
Mommy, he doesn't like kids.
She's not a dog.
She might as well be. I don't like kids.
He says it all the time.
I do not like kids.
If you love Sharon, you'll love her kids. They're just a physical extension of her.
Yeah, an extension that blocks the beauty.
They'll be here next week.
You have a beautiful house, Mother.
Oh, thank you.
Jaquay.
I want to go to my room.
Why are you being so mean to Mama?
Bro, that ain't my mama.
Oh, so I guess she didn't have you?
Yes, she spit me out, but that don't mean she my mom's. You see, moms see their kids more than once every 10 years.
They're teens, so he gonna be gone in a year. She'll be gone a few years after that. I mean, you can handle that.
Right.
Shh, kids.
So I'm gonna be stuck here for another 2 weeks?
Philip, so you stuck here?
Don't act like that. Come here.
How would you like to get paid for your knowledge on computer software?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here for orientation. It's my first day.
You made a deal with my son to get with me?
Go ahead, go my mama. Mama?
Oh, you called me mama.
I want you to go in there and I want you to look Sharon dead in her eye. And you say, baby, I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
Ain't that from Baby Boy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was a funny movie. I watched this movie and I laughed, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I have got to talk to Sean about
I'm
this
glad you
movie.
enjoyed it.
It's
Thank you.
hilarious." And I know it says coming soon, but this movie where can we see this movie?
You can see it on Amazon Prime. You can see it on Tubi. It is on Comcast. It's on Umo, which is XUMO. It's on there. And it's also on YouTube. So
Okay, great. And what inspired you to become a filmmaker?
I watched a movie that I felt was not very good. There was a movie called Gang of Roses. This was years ago. This was like 2022. No, not 22. 2003, 2004. It had Lil' Kim, Lisa Ray, Bobby Brown, Macy Gray. They were in this movie. And to me, this is just an opinion. This is not fact. That was the worst movie I ever saw. They were saying, let's chill out. But it was in the Old West. The movie came on for about 15 minutes. And I'm like, if they can do this, I think I can write one. And so I put one together, and then I took some money out of my 401k. So I think I was like $5,000. And then I called all my friends. I didn't know any actors. Say, you want to make a movie? You want to be a movie? I said, yeah. So all my friends got in the movie. I called one of my best friends, Roy Richards. Him and Broderick Carter are the other executive producers for Stepdads. I made it with my friends. And so back then I met Roy, and he produced my first movie back then. He had the camera and the equipment. And so fast forward 2025, we still going. So we produced Stepdad together.
Oh, awesome. Congratulations. So that is awesome. You are an executive producer, a movie producer, a screenwriter. So what gives you the writing bug? What has you become the storyteller of who you are? After seeing the worst movie and now you're sharing a story, how did you bring all that together?
I've always liked to tell stories. I used to do stand up and stuff like that. But the stories, you would see them, and I felt like I could tell the story like that. So I was always able to tell a story. I was the one that had all the friends around reminiscing about all the stuff that happened. It's like, yo, so-and-so's coming. You got to tell them. And the only difference is on a page. And so when you do stand up, they give you, 3 to 4, we're going to give you 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. But when you do a film, you can be every character in the movie, but you get to incorporate everybody. So I'm just like, there was a movie called Sweet Justice. It was written by Kelly Gray, and it was also directed by Arthur Muhammad, he directed this film. I've been working with him for 19 years. And I was doing stand-up, going around doing that, and nobody knew who I was. And then I did Sweet Justice, which played on television, and I got calls from all over the world. Yo, I just saw you on TV. I mean, I've been doing sneaking doing stand-up this whole time, and nobody knew who I was. But the minute I do one movie, I said, I'm done. No more stand-up. No more stand-up. I'm gonna do movies from here on out. I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it.
Oh,
So
good.
that's what pushed it. Yeah. Sweet Justice.
Awesome. Sweet Justice. And where can we see that movie? Because
Sweet Justice on Tubi. I think it's on Amazon Prime as well.
Okay.
It's got Reagan Gomez in that one from Parenthood. You remember Parenthood back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in that one. So yeah.
So you work with some top stars.
Yeah, I work with Reagan Gomez. I work with what is that girl? Vivica Fox, Charles Dutton from The Rock, Pooch Hall. I've worked with David Banner, Cynthia Bailey. I know they're gonna kill me when I hear this because I'm gonna see him. It was one of the dolls. It wasn't Cash Doll. It was one. It's like 10 girls named something doll. Worked with her. Eva, Marcel, who else? I'm trying to think. Black China.
Oh, wow.
I forget his name. He's gonna kill me, but he played Dirty Red in the Five Heartbeats.
Okay.
Work with him. I work with Malik, who is he played Otis in the Temptations. Thank you, Malik, if you're out there watching this, because you actually gave me some big brownie points when I first met my wife. That's a story I'll tell you if you want, but he gave me some huge brownie points with my wife. That was one of her favorite movies, The Temptations. So yeah.
Okay, well, you get to tell us the love story about your wife since you love telling stories. I want to hear it.
So I had just not recently, but not too far into life, and we were watching The Wiz and stuff like that, which is one of my favorite movies. And she said, "Well, you want to see my favorite movie?" It's like, "What do you want?" She's The Temptations. Like, "Oh, I watch that all the time." Between The Temptations and The Five Heartbeats, she said, "I just love The Temptations. I watch this all the time." So M. Legend Brown, which is one of my mentors, I was working on a set with him to shoot this movie, and he was like, "Hey, Malik's gonna be working." I was like, "Who is Malik?" He said, "Otis from The Temptations." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Oh, my wife likes." Oh, okay. So when we get to the set, he's really nice. And I was like, "Malik, my wife is like a huge Temptations fan. If I get her to come up here, can you take a picture? Can you sign it?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, I got you." So I went to her house that next day and I stole her Temptations DVD. I stole it. And I brought it to the set. And I asked her, like, "Can you come out to the set? Can you bring me something to eat? They don't really have good food. But dress cute, because I don't want you to come out there." Because I knew she was gonna meet Malik. So I sit her down in this chair, and I was like, "Yeah, you should see some of the people that we work with." And I'm introducing her stuff. And I said, "Oh, and there's one other person." And Malik goes, "Hi." And he reaches out his hand and shake her hand. And she looks up and she's, "But you know who you are? Oh my gosh." And I was like, "Yeah, we're from The Temptations, Malik." And she's like, "I wish if I'd have known you're gonna be here, I wish I would have brought my DVD. I would have had you sign it." And I was like, "You mean this DVD?" And so I give it to Malik, and he gives her a hug, and he signs it and takes a picture with it. He takes a picture with her, and she's just all smiles, like, "Oh my gosh." So yeah, that got me some big, huge brownie points. Yeah, that was when we were just talking, but now we're married. So that was a catalyst to help push it up there to get us married. Yeah. Malik, I owe you one. I owe you one.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love a good love story. Awesome. Wonderful. And now I gotta go and look at all these movies that you're talking about, because I've watched some, but then of course we love the movies to just watch them again, because the Five Heartbeats and the Temptations, those are definitely movies that you can just watch
Classics.
over and over and over again. And so, talking about your movie Stepdad, of course, I love the title. And, I personally didn't have a stepdad, but my older siblings had a stepdad. and so, and so my dad, he was a cool dad, he was a good dad. And when I was looking at this, I had my dad in the framework, of course, for being a stepdad. And my brother's both my brothers are stepdads, so I kind of had like a framework of my dad and my brothers, my uncles, my cousins being stepdads. And so so when I look at the movie, it was so funny. I was like, I was like, I gotta watch this again. And I love the way that you wrote it. So who was the inspiration for this movie for you to write a movie called Stepdads? Did you have a stepdad?
No, I didn't have a stepdad. I had, my regular dad, but I knew a lot of kids who had stepdads. So here's the story on this one. The original thing that we were going to film was called The Money Tree. And it was about an angel who gives an impoverished kid a tree that grows money. So I wrote that one, and it had all type of animals and everything. That was my second script I written. So I give it to Arthur Muhammad, he's filmed. And I'm going to tell you about the rest of the movies that he's filmed and stuff. But that's one of my other mentors. And he sends it back. He said, "Hey, you got about $300,000? I was like, yeah, no." He said, "In order to film with kids and pets and all this stuff, and you got fires and stuff, you're gonna need about $300,000. And I was like, "Okay, well, I don't have that." So he said, "So you're gonna have to write something that you can spend about, such and such on." I was like, "Okay." So I sat down, and he called me back. He goes, "Okay, needs to have 2 words, something easy, something that everybody can identify with, and something that you can write about." So I started thinking, and I was like, as knowing a bunch of people, I was like, okay, stepdad. I can write stepdad. I can do that one. So when you watch the movie, remember I was saying if you do stand up, you get to do 2-3 minutes. All of the characters from the main character to his two friends, those are all me in different phases of my life.
Oh.
So yeah, when I was single, I was just out there bad. So I was JB. I'm sorry, I was JB. And then when I calmed down, I was before I got married, I was the other guy. I was all calm and nice. That was the church guy. And then Philip was a combination of how I was at that point. So I thought that way that all three of those characters thought at one time in my life. So that's why it was easy for me to write that. And I was the one that was saying, I don't like kids. When I was single, I was like, you have kids? Oh no, we can't talk. You have kids? No. So I was running. My wife now does not have any kids. So we got dogs, we got fur babies. So that was me in real life. I was like, you got kids? Nah, I don't like it. I didn't care how cute they were, how fine. That was it. You got kids? Oh no, I'm done. That was you won an all expense paid trip to friend zone.
Wow. That was automatic friend zone. Oh
Yep,
my
automatic
gosh.
friend zone. Yeah, so that's why it was so easy to write that, because I had been there. And then the mom, I knew so many independent women who were holding it down, who were taking care of their own business. They had so many things going on. And then so when you write a movie, what you do is you take a concept and you flip it and you make the worst or best thing that can happen. And that's what stepdad. What would happen if you were meeting your new dude and your old guy sent your kids that you haven't talked to come and live with you, just dropped them off. So that's stepdad.
Oh wow. Oh wow, wow, wow. Well, I love the concept. I love the writing. I laughed like, y'all, you need to go Amazon Prime. I don't even shout out, these people who don't sponsor the show. However, Tubi, that's where you can find it.
Yeah,
I said stepdad into my TV remote, and then it popped up play free for me. So it's a free movie. I had some commercials in there, but they weren't too overbearing, and I just was able to skip through them and everything. So I really like that part about it too as well. I was able to fast forward through the commercials. So I love what you shared about how you were inspired to create the movie, how you were inspired to write, and what brought you into this world. And you have a very powerful story, and I know that you have created movies every year for the past 19 years, and you've shared various stories. But how do you see that your company has impacted your community or transformed the lives of others through your movies with your audience?
Well, when they first started, black movies first started, we only got to play subservient characters. It was either a maid or a butler, and then as time progressed, it was you were a gigolo, or you was thug, or a pimp, or a prostitute, or something. And so I didn't want to do that. If you notice, everybody in the movie was upscale. All the Philip, he was a top salesman. Even though JB was a playboy, he was really smart. He stayed in a condo, a luxury condo. His other friend, he stayed, by himself, but he was smart. Nobody was hardcore, just street. And right now they kind of push us and show us the worst parts. And so I wanted to show the best part. The mom, she was fine, but she wasn't, out here with all of her stuff showing everything. She was like a real mom. And then the kids had real kids problems. So I wanted to show, because right now, if you go and look on Tubi or some of the other channels, it's all the same movies with different actors. Everybody's either selling dope or they're doing this, or and that's not how all the black experience was. So I want to bring a balance back, because we grew up with, well, I'm old, so I grew up with like Good Times and the Jeffersons and A Different World and the Cosby Show, and those were good feelings that we sat around and watched that stuff with our parents and our friends. I want to make something that you could sit with your kids, sit with your grandma, whoever you sat with, they could find somebody that they saw in themselves, and they could watch that without having to, close your eyes, turn your head. Oh Lord, let me fast forward. I didn't want it. I wanted
Yeah.
to be a truly family film that maybe the church could support. You wouldn't get in trouble if you were in Congress and you supported it. I wanted that because that's what we grew up with. Cosby
Mhm.
Show, we had Love and Basketball. We had great stuff to watch that represented
Yes.
the Black community. So that's what I wanted to do.
Awesome. Well, I think you did an excellent job, Sean. You did a most excellent job. And I felt very loved whenever I was watching the movie. And even though, I've gone through my dating and then the whole engagement piece, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love the characters that you have. I mean, in the background with the I hate kid moment, and the with the trailer alone, y'all saw she's like telling him she's not a dog. She's not an animal. So that was like, they just tickled my funny bone. My funny bone was tickled all throughout. And so with Ubuntu Films, let me, make sure everyone knows, how to reach you and where they can find some more of your work. So let me get that showing here for everybody. And it's Ubuntu Family Films. So can you tell us a little bit about your company and what projects you may have, in the pipeline coming up?
Well, Stepdad was one of the first ones that we did. So now we're trying to put together some crowdfunding to get the money for the second one, because the first one we used an investor. The second one, we want to invite the community in to help us do the project. Um, I used to, when I used to go to church a lot, and they would tell us these stories, but we were too young to understand. And there was a story I heard, and I thought it was stupid. Ubuntu basically means I am because we are. So basically, I am a product of my community, and my community is a product of me. So there was a story where a lady was starving, her son was starving, and they fixed this basically you might as well say it was a piece of cornbread or cake. And a prophet came and he ate their food. And as a kid, I'm like, those people starving, and the man just took their food and ate it. But in the Bible, it's written that when you bless God's people, he has to bless you. So he took their food to eat it so that they fed him so that God could say, okay, they took care of you. Now and so he was the one who told her to go get the jars and pour the oil in it. And then you can use that to outlast the famine. And of course, she borrowed all the stuff. And then, of course, you would assume that she took care of those people that let her borrow it. And so the crowdfunding for me is to allow some people who are trying to get a blessing to say, hey, I'm going to bless you with 5 or 10 to help. So I'm God's person. So he's bound to bless you back. So you want to bring your community in. And that's what we used to do when we were younger. You grew up, you ate at everybody's house.
Oh, yes.
People would come and help you if you were down. We had a community that was so powerful. They wouldn't. I don't know if you ever been to a rent party. Somebody can't pay their rent. You would have a party, throw a party, and you would give that person the money. And so I want to bring that back. So probably next month we're going to drop the crowdfunding. But yeah, now we're going to do it a different way and allow the community to come in and be blessed and be a part of a winning team.
Okay, very good. And of course, the director, we can come back through and have an interview with both you guys and,
Oh,
talk
that guy.
about, yes, if he's
He,
available. I know he's probably
he is.
hard.
Oh, he's available. Oh no, he's got his movies are all in France. He's one of the number one directors. He's got a movie out now on Amazon.
Oh,
It's
good.
called 12. TW. Just like you spell 12.
Uh-huh.
And there's no sex. There's no drug. That movie is so good. It's called 12. It's on Amazon right now, and
Okay.
it is great. It's great. So yeah, he's like I said, he has been my mentor. Him and a guy named M. Legend Brown for 19 years, and all the movies I've done, I've either worked with him or M. Legend Brown. So yeah, those are my guys right there. So I can definitely get him on to do an interview with you. My gosh.
It's just a lot. Yeah, I know. It's like because people want to know how, as an entrepreneur, I have a vision, and someone may be watching the show, right? And they're like, "Hey, I had something inside me. I want to be able to tell my story." What would be something to share with that person, and how did they get started to do what you do? Like, what's the first step?
Um, I did took a lot of I read a lot of books, but what helped me was a master class. And Spike Lee basically said he takes note cards and he writes anytime he has an idea about certain stuff, he writes it down on a note card and he puts those note cards in this box. And then once he gets the box filled up, he knows he has enough to write a story. And that was one of our first real big Black filmmakers. I was like, okay, let me try that. So that worked for me. I write everything down on different color note cards, depending on what scene or act it is. And I put those in order. And then once I throw up everything that was in my mind, I go on and arrange that stuff like the Soul Train music board. And I put all the stuff together. And I'm like, okay, I got enough. And then I just take those ideas and I string them all together. So you remember when we were growing up and they had the book. It had all these dots and it numbered maybe from 1 to 40. But if you follow the dots, it would outline a unicorn or whatever. So that's what I do. Once I get all the note cards together, I just put those in order. And then that's how I come up with a film. Also, there's a book that you can buy. If you don't know anything about movies or scripts, there's a book that you can buy. And it's called The Coffee Break Screenwriter, Edition 2. And if you just read that book will take you from the beginning of your idea to a finished script if you just do whatever it says in that book.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we encourage you, of course, to subscribe to Power Fridays Live. And if people want to know about this book and getting in touch with you, I did put your website up there. And I hear that the new crave and fame is TikTok.
Yeah.
How's that going?
I'm trying to get better at posting stuff on TikTok, but I'm always busy. So I admire people who are good at social media because I don't see how they have time to put all this stuff on. Like, who has time to do all of that? So that's the thing that I'm actually struggling with, to go through and put footage of stuff that we're doing onto, because you gotta remember, you got Facebook and Instagram and then TikTok. And then younger people laugh at me, nobody's, only old people on Facebook, everybody on Instagram. So I'm just like, well, yeah. So you got to get all this stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how to manage putting all this stuff together. Because like, who has time? I'm busy. So I'm like, I'm not on social media. I'm on there 5 minutes, maybe 10, and I'm done for the rest of the day. So it's a struggle.
Okay, well, you have an IG account, so like, follow, share, subscribe to Sean T. Hunt on Instagram, y'all. With the TikTok is Sean.T57, and Ubuntu Family Films is the website.
And then just Sean Hunt on Facebook.
And then Sean Hunt. Okay, cool. Sean Hunt on Facebook. There you have it. Well, Sean, I have really enjoyed our conversation today. And that's the way people can reach you, through social media. I thank you so much for imparting your wisdom on your journey to share with us. And I love asking this question. Who, where? Okay, so we got a who and where. Who would you like to have lunch with, and where would you like to eat with a person? If that's the desires of your heart right now, if you could be in touch with that person, who would that be?
Okay, if it was a who, it would be Tyler Perry, to sit down with him. He is set the blueprint of not just build your own table, but build your own house and living room and dining room and everything like that. He's never had a film canceled. He's always got some hits, and he does it all his way, and he keeps the cost low. So if I could sit down and have lunch with him, we would have lunch. Now, where I would eat at Texas de Brazil. I am a meat and potatoes guy. So that's a Brazilian restaurant, and it's made for fluffy people like me, where you don't even have to get up, and they just bring the meat to your table and cut it off, and you just eat until your heart is content, and it's all fresh. And when they bring it to your table, it's hot and juicy, and just flank steak and lamb and sirloin and chicken and Parmesan chicken. Yeah. So we would go to Texas de Brazil.
Texas de Brazil, and it would be Tyler Perry. We're 2 degrees of separate. Well, I'm 2 degrees of separation from Tyler Perry right now.
Okay.
So you may have seen some of the comedians that have worked for him. So I have it's not like, I'm gonna call them up or anything for you. So
Yeah.
I apologize. I don't
Yeah.
have that kind of I don't
I
have
was
that
like,
kind of
I
juice.
was like Florida.
But we'll have to create the moment because Terry J. Vaughn is doing a project, with him in the Mississippi. I saw that on Yahoo today, and so you just never know.
Yeah, I used to like her with Steve Hardy. City Bear, City Bear. I've been waiting for Tyler Perry to do tours. I got my money already saved to the side. So I'm like, if he ever opens it up, I want to go because I've never been to a quote unquote Hollywood studio like in LA or New York, anything like that. And so for me, it would be an honor and the total gift if the first studio that I went to was owned by a black man.
Well, he's here in Atlanta, so you
Yeah,
would
they don't
just
do tours though.
they're not doing tours anymore. Yeah, since COVID. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we just
I want to see
drive
that.
up and say hi to the security person. That's what I did the last time I brought some people in town. It's like, well, here's the studio. You can say hi to the, security guard, and he'll tell you, yeah, you can just keep it moving. Yeah. Yeah, this is where it's at, but we'll, see you later. But there's a whole lot going on here in Atlanta. This is the Hollywood of the South. So you definitely, I'm inviting you, even though I don't have a special project or anything going on, but I can, assist you with being assistant casting director, assistant casting person for you.
Okay.
I don't have the 3 letters behind my name with the CSA, but I definitely have a lot of people who would love an opportunity to film a movie.
Well,
And
I got
they
a lot of roles, and I love comedians. I actually have 2 sitcoms written. One of them has like 4 episodes already. The other one just has a pilot, and I would love to be able to hire all actors that are comedians to come in and just give them a skeleton lines and just let them go. I would love to be able to sit back and do that because when you have all comedians, they feed off of each other.
Oh yeah.
It would be hilarious. It would. I love comedians. I do. Those are my
Yes.
favorite people.
Yes, the best of the best. They're my favorite people too. And so we'll have to make something happen, definitely, Sean. I would love to work with you and in with your next project. So when can we expect the next project from you?
First thing I got to drop the crowdfunding, and when I get ready to do that, if it's okay, I'm gonna come back and
Yes.
let you know. Where we're gonna drop that, and then that's the main thing for every independent film member. The maker, the biggest thing is to get the money because
Hmm.
if you go to the investors, Shark Tank is for real. Like these people's like, yeah, I'll give you, and they start doing this, yeah, I'll help you, but it's gonna cost. Yeah, that's what you. So I'm gonna try the crowdfunding this time. So that's
Okay.
the thing. I would rather because you want to make sure that you pay people so they have a good experience, and this is people's dream. So you want to be able to make their dreams come true. And when they come to the door, you want them to be like, this is everything that I dreamed. And also, just from being around on sets, I've seen what happens when you try to film a movie with no money and a
Mm.
prayer and a hope. Yeah. So it's even the Bible says money solves an abundance of problems. I don't want no problems. So yeah.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I'll be an extra. Okay,
Well, I
so
got you. I got you. I got a
I,
perfect
I can
role
be
for
an
you.
extra.
I got you. I purposely write roles with lines in it so I can stick in people who have never acted before, and I put them in roles that you don't have to act, just do this. And I purposely write stuff like that so I can get people in, get them started.
Okay,
So I
very
got
good.
you. I got you.
Okay. Well, hey, my career may be changing in 2026. Okay.
I got
Hallelujah.
you. I
Praise
got you.
God. We can make it happen with Ubuntu Family Fins. I am because we are. And I love it. I love it. I love it, Sean Hunt. It has been a fun conversation with you. I invite everyone to go to your Amazon Prime, your Tubi channel, your Zumo, and type in stepdad. Put like I did. I just spoke it into my with the remote control, and I
Mhm.
said stepdad, and it popped right up. So I love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for living your passion, living your dream, making all your dreams come true. You know, like they said on Laverne and Shirley show, because I'm old like you.
Making our dreams come true, and we do it my way and my. Yeah, we had good shows.
We had good shows, yes, and you're doing it your way. You're doing it your way, and you're making a difference for the community. You're making a difference for other people's dreams. That's what I absolutely love, and I want to let everyone know to follow you on IG one more time, Sean T Hunt, right? And at TikTok, Sean.T57. Why 57? Because that was the only thing that was available.
It just popped up. Like I said, I was just trying to get it going. I was like, my wife, you got a TikTok? And I was like, no, I don't even look at TikTok. That's where everybody is. I'm like, oh, okay, yes, all right. So but I hear her in the middle of the night. It's like it's 2:00 in the morning. What are you doing? Looking at TikTok? I'm just like, okay, let me just get on TikTok. So yeah, it's
I know
thank you so much for having me. I love your show. I love your background. You're a beautiful, intelligent host. You got a wonderful smile. I'm just so honored to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, Sean. Thank you for all that you do and all that you will continue to do, because here on Power Fighters Live, we say be, do, and have the greatness that you desire, because the greatness is in you. So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Power Fighters Live. Take care and God bless everyone.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you.